So I was totally blown away by how many people came. We actually had 150 people come and run with us at 7 a.m. this morning. That was absolutely fantastic. We had some pretty amazing times turned in. Our winner, our winning man was Neil Campbell in 1911. Whew. Second place was James Hebert in 1918, and then Brian Reynolds in 1923. We also had 5 runners under 20 minutes, which was kind of surprising and awesome. Among women, our winner was Allison Davis in 25:04. Good job. And then Christine Spang in 25:24 and Justine Lamb in 27:04. So congratulations all of our winners. You guys were awesome. And all 6 of those fantastic people are winning free admission to PyCon 2013. Congratulations. We also had one other prize category, and this was a prize for the person most unlikely to finish, given the events of last night. I was kind of surprised by the winner of this award, but the consensus was that I got a text message at about 6:57 from this person saying, "Oh no, I overslept." And he dashed down and still managed to make it, started 4 minutes late and still finished in a 25:30. I'm talking, of course, about Jesse Noller.
Hey. For the record, I didn't party last night. I actually went up and I was in bed by like 8:40. So
Sure, Jesse, we believe you.
Nice.
And so Jesse is winning a really cool RC helicopter, courtesy of New Relic.
Nice.
So yeah, a couple of thanks. Thanks to Eventbrite for doing our sign up. Thanks for New Relic and Council for bringing some swag to give away to some of the runners and for the cool RC helicopter. And I want to also thank Adam Fast for doing our timing for us. And of course, thank everyone who came out to run, and I hope to see twice as many of you out there next year. Thanks a lot. Jesse's going to fill you in on the details of the charity that we raised. Yes, ma'am. We will be posting the results online. Just check the PyCon website. I have them in my inbox. I just need to find my laptop and put them online. We also have a handful of extra shirts. So if you ran, see me out by registration after the keynotes, and I will be happy to sell you a shirt. Ready?
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I'm just trying to get my...
I'm done stalling. It's Jesse's turn.
I'll try to be fast as soon as my computer is... Oh, this makes me sad. I set it to the proper res. Nice. Actually, this is the first time I've had a problem. Oh, well, this is fine. Oh. Derp. Oh, well, I don't need slides. Oh.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. I didn't plug in the cable. No. This is the appropriate moment for a slow clap. All right. All right. So, welcome to the second day of PyCon 2012. Once again, I'm happy to see over 2,200 people here. Actually, closer to 2,300. So much for the cap. A couple of quick announcements. So the PyCon 5K this morning that Jacob was just talking about, we had around 180 runners. It was amazing to see everyone out there, even though I showed up late. And I got to run past a few people. It was pretty cool. Donations prior to costs. So this is how much we raised selling T-shirts and just having people pay whatever they wanted to. $2,738. That's pretty awesome. Now, I said yesterday in my opener that this is about community, this is about people, and so many of you have done so much for me and my family, and this has been a labor of love from me to you. PyCon will be matching. PyCon will be matching the full amount raised despite costs. So we will be matching up to $5,476. After the match, this is how much we will be splitting 3 ways to Autism Speaks, the American Cancer Society, and the Epilepsy Foundation. So thank you for everyone for showing up, donating, etc. Just a couple of quick announcements before I announce a couple of Community Service Award winners and everything else. There's some lost and found. I recommend picking up your driver's licenses and a netbook sleeve. Tonight we have the SingPath tourney. It's going to be cool. They're giving away a MacBook Air and possibly some other prizes. And the Yelp food buses are running again tonight. Other than that, I've got some community award winners. Where are the... Oh, they're on the other side. Do you want to announce these, Steve?
No, it's perfectly okay. You can do it, Jesse.
Well, no, we can both do it.
We can indeed. Oh, and we do seem to have the...
Well, they're in bags now.
Necessary, don't worry, we'll sort it out.
So the Community Service Award, we handed out quarterly?
We normally make 2 awards every quarter. Oh, are they in separate bags? Yes, they are. We normally make 2 awards every quarter. That's right. Yep. You handle that one, I'll unwrap this.
And so the first Community Service Award winner that I'd like to announce is Carl Trait. Is he actually here today? Did he get to...
No, Carl unfortunately cannot attend PyCon this year, but we've had some discussion about it. One of the choices that you have for the award, you get the choice of either a money award or alternatively a free registration to PyCon next year. So I think thanks to the free registration, we probably can expect to see Carl here next year. But I think we should all give Carl a round of applause. He's basically he was being given the award for the work that he's done to put foreign language and foreign alphabets onto the wiki so that non-English speaking Python users can find a more natural environment when they first come to Python. And it's the kind of work that's actually not really very well appreciated too much, so I think I'd like you all to give Carl a good round of applause for...
And the next one, I believe she's actually here today, I hope she is Audrey Roy.
Is Audrey Roy in the audience?
She better be.
And as you probably know, Audrey was the founder of the PyLadies group and has done a huge amount to increase gender diversity in the Python world. Thank you very much, Audrey. Thank you.
And with that, I gladly hand it over to our illustrious chairman, Steve Holden.
Thank you very much. I thought we must have... When he said our illustrious chairman, I thought we must have had a new chairman appointed without me knowing. So I'd like to echo Jesse's warm welcome to you all on the second day of this amazing Python. And before I go any further, I want to yet again place on public record my admiration and gratitude for Jesse's hard work. So again, thank you very much, Jesse. So, a few words of introduction, just in case anybody doesn't know me. I'm principally, the most important function I'm here at PyCon for is to be the chairman of the Python Software Foundation, which is a terrific opportunity, because people keep coming up and thanking me for organizing Python, when in fact I have hardly anything to do with it at all. But I'm quite happy to carry on accepting your thanks. On behalf of the other organizers. I met someone today and I said, isn't it incredible, we've got 2,200 odd people here? And she said, yes, and that's a lot of odd people. So, I do have a couple of businesses. The first one delivers training and systems consultancy, and the second runs open source conferences and technical events. You may notice the Open Bastion is a sponsor this year. So, I'm only mentioning those really, mostly to remind my accountants that they do still exist, despite the fact that they get neglected sometimes when things get busy on the Python Software Foundation front. So, I'm a great believer in the strength of common bonds forged by shared experience. And you may not have come to PyCon to bond with people, but you may be surprised. A lot of people don't come. It's a bit like, if you remember the story that Mark Twain wrote, where Tom, what's his name? Tom anyway. People came to whitewash. People came to whitewash and remained to jeer. Well, people come to PyCon to program, and they remain as members of the community. We hook them in, and that's what we're trying to do. So when you come, I like to think when you come to PyCon, you leave a little bit of yourself behind, and you find it again next time you come to PyCon. So a great believer in community. There was this exchange yesterday between two people on the PyCon organizers team. One of them said, "Go home," and the other one says, "I am home," right? This is PyCon. And basically, so that exchange was between two stalwarts of the conference who've given, quite literally, as Jesse has, thousands of hours to make this conference the huge success that it's become. It typifies the spirit that makes PyCon so enjoyable. You don't want to know what this conference would cost you if we didn't have sponsorship. So having in some way fathered PyCon myself, it's somewhat startling now. As I tweeted yesterday, my little conference is all grown up. So it's quite an emotional event for me, not only because of what PyCon's turned into in these 10 years, but also because this is my last address to PyCon as chairman of the Python Software Foundation. I'm very happy to say that the board, who are ably assisted by our secretary and administrator, Pat Campbell, is well able to face tomorrow's challenges without me. But I do want to emphasize that while I'm leaving the chair, I am not leaving the foundation, and I'm certainly not leaving a community that I've spent 10 years nurturing. So do expect to see me around, and if you don't believe my commitment to Python, then you should ask to see my latest tattoo.
Let's see your latest tattoo!
You think you're going to get to see that without making a donation to the Python Software Foundation? All right, let me just reveal a certain amount of information by saying I'm wearing a long-sleeved shirt, so it's going to be difficult, right? We may need to wait, but before the end of the conference, perhaps. So when I involved myself in the Python world back in 1995, I quickly realized that Python represented something very special. It represented a new approach to object-oriented programming, which I'd actually kind of given up for 8 or 10 years until I came across Python. So the fact that Python's a pragmatic, readable, concise, to-the-point language is great. And it's sometimes still surprising to find out just exactly how few lines of Python you need to write some really amazing software and get startling results. I deal with text a lot. And so I usually have an interpreter window open just to interactively be able to handle the text. So I think we all owe a huge debt of gratitude to Guido and to the cast of hundreds of developers and assistants who've joined him to make Python the wonderful language that it is. Now, people don't use Python just because they think that the syntax is beautiful or because they think that Guido's extraordinarily good looking, even though, of course, both those things do happen to be true. But they really like Python because it's an amazingly productive way to get computers to do things. The success of the Python early adopters, once we managed to persuade them to start talking about the secret weapon that had achieved their success, also brought Python to the public attention. So we have to thank small companies like Digital Creations, now Zope Corporation, and also large companies like Google, Disney, and the other sponsors around the hall. We have to thank those for helping people to realize that Python genuinely does represent an improvement in programming language design. And another thing that's somewhat unusual, I think, about Python is that we know that Python's not perfect, but we like it anyway. It doesn't have to be perfect. So Python's very well placed now to start appearing in all kinds of unexpected places. It's widely used by experienced programmers, but it's also being built into other types of systems. And so I'm now in my training work having to deal with engineers of all kinds. And when you think about the types of systems that Python is being built into, I mean, just off the top of my head, computer-aided design, animation, statistics, research science, those are 4 fields where people are going to be finding Python popping out of their software products. And if you want to script your software product, you may well end up doing it in Python. So the $25 Raspberry Pi computer that was recently announced basically shows just how low the cost of getting started in Python can be. And it means that we're likely, if things go well, to actually see new generations leaving school with Python skills already. And that's going to be, if you think 2200's a lot, it probably won't be a PyCon, but I'm sure there'll be larger groupings of Python programmers in the future. So as far as the Python Software Foundation goes, the PSF has 2 principal duties, right? One is to promote, protect, and advance the Python programming language. And the second is to support and facilitate the growth of the international community of Python programmers. And I think you can see by looking around you that we have actually taken the second goal very, very seriously indeed. The first goal, particularly the advancement, is more to do with the developers. It also means 3, we run an amazing conference, but nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, so we'll just stay at 2. So I didn't really expect when I became the chairman of the PSF that I'd soon be managing an organization that had lost over half its reserves on a single event. That was a distinct blow. It meant that we had to go into consolidation mode, put certain plans on hold. But I'm happy to say that through careful husbandry, cautious planning, and of course the help of both Jesse and Van Lindberg, our preceding PyCon chairman, we have actually now replenished those lost reserves, and I'm happy to be able to tell you that the foundation is on a better financial footing than it ever has been before. So even when our funding was relatively limited, which it has been until recently, we've found ways to try to help local and national user groups. And we continue to treat increased diversity, and in particular increased gender diversity, as a very high priority. The Pi Ladies, who were represented first of all by Audrey Roy, who we just seen receiving an award. They're doing a terrific job attracting more women into the Python community. They are to be applauded for that. We cannot afford to relax our efforts, but I think at least the Python community is being seen to take these issues seriously, which is very, very important indeed right now. So we've also done a few improvements on our infrastructure. We're looking to beef up our web and the rest of our infrastructure, because as the community grows, it's definitely going to come under increasing pressure. We've had amazing support from Hewlett-Packard and Dell. We're very grateful to our hosting partners, Access for All in the Netherlands, soon OSU OSL in the USA, for the assistance that they continue to give us. We're also looking to adopt technology that will in some ways democratize the web space that we maintain. The foundation doesn't have the ability to exercise central control over the web with a community of the size that the Python community has grown to. And we don't have the wish to control it centrally either. The only way we feel to get a vibrant web is by having community members put information on the site about what they're doing. And basically, we feel that the web should be much more open to direct community input, and I hope that that's a change that you'll see taking place in the next year. I did actually, the board delegated the preparation of the request for proposals to a guy called Jesse Nola, and he's not come back with the finished RFP yet. I can't imagine what's been taking his time up. So another initiative, this one by Marc-André Lemberg, another of our directors, is to produce a Python brochure. And so we have a Python brochure coming up now. We're close, I think, to the pre-production stages, and I believe we may even have some pre-production samples of the brochure. So if you want to advertise your company, or if you simply want to be a case study, you have advantages, you have opportunities to do both of those things. And I'm happy to say that the intention is this brochure will not be funded out of PSF funds. The intention is that the advertising and the sponsorship for the brochure will pay for it. So it's almost like getting something for nothing. So we've had sponsor members in the foundation, that is people who actually pay to join. They're the organizations that believe in and have often made a significant investment in Python. The annual fees that they pay help to keep the foundation going, and we're very, very grateful indeed to them. I hope that the size of the expo hall indicates that we might expect an influx of new sponsor members in the coming year, and I'll try to remember to ask them as I go around the expo this morning if they'd like to become sponsor members of the foundation. Oh, which reminds me, if anybody does happen to feel particularly generously disposed towards the Python Software Foundation, I and Jesse and Jacob Kaplan-Moss and one other person, we all have not only our cell phones with us, but we also have a little widget called the Square, which you may have seen from. So basically, we are able to take credit card donations for the foundation of up to $250. So if you feel that you haven't actually paid enough to the foundation yet, open your wallet and repeat after me, help yourself. Okay, so PyCon is sponsored by an enormous number of companies, some of whose banners you can see at the side of the hall here. I asked the audiovisual team if they could let me, for this talk, have a copy of the sponsors slide. Silly me, of course, now we can't get all our sponsors on a single slide. We've got this 5-slide show which keeps running during the breaks. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. The fact that we've got so many slides full of sponsors, of course, is directly due to Jesse's efforts, and he's certainly put anything that I ever did to bring money into PyCon well into the shade. Our sponsorship's actually very loyal. One of this year's sponsors has sponsored almost every PyCon since the first one that we ran in 2003, when there was actually time to read all the sponsors' names out without any problems at all. So I'd like to welcome sponsors, particularly the sponsors who are new to PyCon. I'd like to thank them all for making this a truly stupendous conference possible. And I hope that you'll thank them all by visiting their exhibition stands and talking to them about why they're here at PyCon and what they're trying to do. I always maintained that the best way to get sponsor support was for the foundation to become worthy of that support, and we've put a lot of hard work in over the last 3 years. I think that the size of the expo hall is probably an indication that that strategy has worked. So really, the idea behind PyCon is to try to help create community, because community and open source are two important partners. They will not exist together, I don't think. I'm a great one for putting myself in people's faces at PyCon. And in one of my conversations yesterday, I heard myself say, if you aren't enjoying PyCon, you aren't doing it right. That is very definitely the case. You're supposed to enjoy here, and that actually pretty much sums up my philosophy of learning. And I refuse to believe that you can spend a week at PyCon and not come away with a shitload of useful information. So I came across a trade paper interview with me from 1984. Yes, I have been in the industry since 1967. And in a recent move, I came across this interview where they chose a quote from the interview as the headline, and the quote was, "If computing ever stops being fun, I'll stop doing it." But in the body of the text, I said that for me, computing was all about people. And I've done my best to try to make sure that Python does stay fun. And okay, given that we had dancing robots, maybe it doesn't need to be all people, but when I saw those dancing robots, I'll tell you, that was an emotional moment when I saw that PyCon had really grown up to the stage where it could provide that kind of an opening. So it's very easy in today's disjointed society to feel that you don't matter to anybody and that there's no need to care about anybody else. I believe sometimes we tell ourselves this lie in modern society because if we were to expose it as a lie, we would also have to expose our emotions, and that's actually quite a dangerous thing to do with people that you can't trust. But no man is an island, so we need to learn to offer each other safe spaces where we can express ourselves creatively, not meet with disapproval for being ourselves. We're finding new ways here to forge links that have always been needed in whole integrated lives. But with the fragmentation of society, we're actually at the forefront of finding new electronic ways to replace the sense of community that the creation of modern societies has actually fragmented somehow. So when people are making history, they don't often know it. Paul Graham's statement yesterday that PyCon is the center, not at the center, but the center of Silicon Valley this week, completely floored me. I suppose that there might actually be life after the PSF chairmanship after all, but if the success of the Python community in recent years proves anything at all, it proves that hard work works, and that teams can work successfully across international boundaries. But of course, we learned that from the developers, so it's no surprise to us. So really, that's all I have to say to you. If I can leave you, the portion of the Python community lucky enough to be the center of Silicon Valley for a week, with any thoughts at all, then these 3 thoughts are quite hard to go wrong with. And in fact, it's hard to think of a context in which they won't help. So enjoy the rest of the conference, and thank you very much indeed for being here.